Hi there,
Hi.
it's us again. We've had a request from Brian. He left a comment on one of our videos to say, could we show how we hook up the Suzuki Swift to the motorhome? And I've been sort of toying with that idea, and I guess he's the catalyst to actually go and do it. So thanks, Brian. We'll get it done. We've got a lot of traffic coming along here because we haven't got any flat areas on our property, so we bring the motorhome and the Swift across the road onto a nice flat area to connect it up. It just happens to have a lot of traffic, and it's a noisy flat area. So hopefully the traffic noise is not too annoying.
And there's lots of flies.
Lots of flies, yes. I've got my official fly waver here. Yeah, she's doing a good job. So I thought I'd just show you how how we carry the A-frame around. Basically in the back here, I really just lay it in here. I've got a bag of goodies. That's all the smaller bits and pieces in there. And there's three major components. We've got this guy here, which is normally called the dropper, and I'll explain that when I put it on. And I've just got them wrapped in a blanket at the moment, but we're looking around for a proper, a beefy, sort of tough bag to put everything into. This is the other component. I think they call this the braking unit. And in there's the actual A-frame part. So I'll bring all these over and we'll show you how they connect up. Okay, so we've got the three major components here. Like I said, they call this one a dropper because it goes in first, just like a normal tongue would go into this part of your tow bar. Normal sort of pin and clip. Put the clip on. There's lots of clips to put on. Make sure you put each clip on straight away as you put the pin in, then you're sort of less likely to forget something. They call this a dropper because the A-frame has to be horizontal to the road surface. So depending on vehicles, they'll manufacture one of these specially for you. It may actually come down and be a bit lower. It may come up and be a bit higher. Ours just happened to be exactly level. So the A-frame plugs in here and it hasn't been dropped or raised. However, we got ours done at Custom Tow Bars in Ringwood, Victoria. Fantastic to deal with. Awesome, just know all about it. Highly recommended. And they custom built this bit for me to put my bike frame, bike rack on the back. So because the A-frame's quite long, plenty of room for bikes here, and this works a treat. I've used it a few times. So that's what this extra bit is. Well, nothing going there today, but my bike rack normally just slides in there and sits here with two bikes. So that's the first part. We put the frame in there, put the pin in there. The second part is, I think they call it the braking unit. Let's take the pin out. Goes in here. Pin in. Put the clip in straight away. Now this one here also has, I'm not sure the technical term, I call it an anti-wobble bolt, because all of these fittings, see this wobbles here, and that's fairly standard. It's not a big deal, but this one has a bolt that we tighten up and it stops it wobbling here, which is really good. It just means that you need to get yourself an 18mm spanner, keep that in your bag of tricks, and basically we just tighten that bolt up just firm. That locks that in, keeps this part really solid. And then there's a little lock nut on here to make sure the bolt doesn't come loose. Just nip that up as well. Okay, so that's the braking unit, that's the dropper. The last of the major components is the A-frame itself. So it sits in here. This is where the steering happens. When we turn corners, it pivots here on a big pin. So let's find the pin. Should have got it out before, but you know. I'll get some of the things out actually. I'll show you what they are later. Here's the pin here. Okay. It also has a big clip. So pin goes through there and clip goes on the bottom. Very good. Okay, so that's the A-frame. The three major components of the A-frame in place. So at this point we need to bring the Swift up to here in order to connect it up. Now theoretically we're on a nice flat concrete or bitumen surface and I can just roll that by hand. I'll see how I go because we've got a lumpy surface here. Okay, let's see how we go there. I might be a fraction close, but yeah, probably a little bit close. That's okay, I can roll it back. The next thing that needs to go on are these two guys. So in the front of the Swift, there's a massive, what they call a base plate, being installed here. And it bolts back very solidly to the chassis of the car. So they become where our main anchor points are. They go in here, turn around and lock in. Spring-loaded lock. Can't come out. Same on the other side. Pop them in, push, turn, locked in. Now a very important thing to do is to grab hold of these at this point and just do a bit of a shake here. We should feel the play in those where they go into the base plate, that's okay. But we should feel the car go up and down on its suspension, but we shouldn't feel any looseness in the base plate. It's a check to make sure nothing's coming loose where the base plate attaches to the car. Okay, let's see if we're a bit too close. Yeah, we are. Just roll it back a fraction. Okay. Still about 1 inch too close. Now, of course, normally Ruth's not videoing, but she is today.
Yes.
And she would actually be helping with this, so we'd get it in the right position straight away. So, once again, we've got two pins with clips, and they just go through there. Doesn't matter which way we put them in as long as we've got the clip on. So I'll put the clip on straight away, well, we don't forget. Same with this guy. Right, and clip on. Okay, now you may have noticed that this is an extendable arms here. They actually move in and out, but they're not allowed to stay like that. That just helps us to hook it up. I now have to move the Swift back, or move the motorhome forward a little bit. We want to see these things flick up and lock in. There's a definite thing happens here. If the Swift is a little bit crooked, which it usually will be, one of those will lock in, and we have to do a special procedure just to get the second one locked in. So keep your eye on those. I'll just move the Swift back. Okay, so which one locked in, Ruth? This one?
They both did.
They both did? Excellent. Okay, so we fluked it that time.
First time ever.
Yeah, it means we must be nice and central. Actually we are. Ruth did a good job driving it up perfectly in line. If let's say this one didn't quite lock in, it remained a little bit shorter because the car was off centre. All we do is we get in, we start the car, we turn the steering full lock towards the one that hasn't locked in, and then we basically hop in the motorhome and just move forward about a metre or so or less, and the Swift will go this way, it'll extend that, and the second one will lock in. So it's a very simple little procedure just to make sure both of these arms are locked. Okay, that's all the major components connected up. Now we've got the other bits and pieces. So this is the braking cable. I leave this one, once again we've got another pin here and a clip. I leave this one clipped on, it's up to you. It goes through there and it connects to this braking cable connection on the front of the Swift. This is adjusted for you by the installers to suit your vehicles, but basically they make sure there is about anywhere between an inch to an inch and a quarter play in the cable, and that's the correct connection. This cable operates the brakes in the Swift. So just like a trailer, a big trailer, when you're slowing, or a caravan, when you're slowing down, the caravan or trailer is also operating its brakes. And in this case, the Swift is also having its brakes applied when you slow down by this cable. So that goes there. The next thing we do is, just like a trailer or caravan has safety chains, we have these big safety cables. So they connect just like safety chains or cables, so they connect to this this D here. Forget the correct name for those, something to do with a D because that's their shape. Important thing is, just like safety chains, we cross over. So if it's on the left one there, it comes to the right side here. And we've got these great big lugs here, part of the base plate, just to connect them to, like that. Get the second one. Right, so I'm connecting it to the right side here. It'll come across to the left side on the Swift. There we go. So there, if there was some major failure of these components and there was a breakaway, then those safety cables should stop the Swift from going too far. The next thing is, not sure of the correct term, but it's an emergency braking cable. If everything fails, Swift breaks loose completely, this little guy here will operate a device inside the Swift which will apply the brakes. So at least it's not going to just run free until it hits something. although it's broken free, it will be trying to slow down. So we've got a special little connection here that we put that onto. Yep, that one. Now, to stop this dragging on the road, because this one has actually got quite a lot of play in it by design, we can run it through the safety chain, the safety cables here, and it just hooks to the same place as these safety cables at the motorhome end. There we go. So it just sits there, and it's for an extreme emergency where everything else fails, which we hope never happens. There's only one other major thing to put on besides these guys. These are just a couple of Velcro strips, and it's just to stop these from sort of flapping around too much. We just Velcro them up here onto the A-frame. Just keeps everything a little bit more in order. Just strap the other one over here. There we go. And the final thing is that all the lights on the rear of the Swift have to work, just the same as lights on the back of a caravan or a trailer have to work. So once again, Custom Towing fabricated this for us, and we plug this into the normal trailer plug location on the motorhome. Goes in that way. And once again, just to stop this dragging on the road, we can run it through the safety cables. And it comes up and plugs onto here. There we go. So that's all of the things that actually get connected up. On my phone, I have actually made up a little checklist, just in a note, and I go through and I check off all of these steps and make sure I haven't missed something. I also, at this point, go back and I check that every one of these clips is on. Okay, all of the clips. So this one here, the one on the bottom of this, make sure she's on. And you know, that's about it. No. One other thing.
Got to put your signs up.
The signs, yes. Just something someone said to me once, and I don't know how true it is, but I usually carry a couple of spare pins for these, for the tow bar ones, because someone said to me that in a caravan park they've had these stolen. I guess by people who have lost one, they've left it behind, driven away. They've come and just stolen someone else's. So probably never happened to me, but I carry a couple of those just to be sure. So let's just go up the back of the Swift. Okay, the final thing is that by law in Victoria we have to display both of these signs up in the back window. It varies a little bit state by state, but basically there will definitely be at least one sign has to be displayed in every state, and in a lot of the states there's these two. So your installer will certainly, our installer supplied those for us, so they know the rules and regulations. So once that's closed down, there we are. We're all ready to go. Beautiful. So dear, is there anything I've left out?
The air guard.
That's it.
We needed air guard to
We
get...
need the I need the hat with the fly thing.
Yes,
Um, and yeah, once again, thanks for the comment from Brian to request that we do this. Hopefully I haven't missed anything, but if you've got any questions.
Are you going to show them the...
Ah, yes. I did mean to show you one other cool little thing. So ours is a Predator A-frame, that's the brand. It does come with an engineering certificate to keep all the legal authorities happy for the vehicles, all signed off. And it comes with this cool done by North Coach RV. They're the people who do the Predator in Australia. And I was blown away by this. It looks like a little book or something, but it basically goes through everything I just went through, in case you forget when you open it up.
Oh.
Oh. It's gone flat.
Oh, has it?
Okay, I'll now go ahead and show you, well, Ruth can show you, the thing that came with the install of the A-frame. So when you open this up, like I tried to show you before, except it was flat, look at that.
This video shows
Yeah,
the
it's
correct
good.
way to hook up your Predator A-frame prior to towing.
So,
The Predator A-frame is
Okay,
supplied in
close it
2
now.
parts.
so it's a full video on how to install everything, which is great because, you know, if you don't do it for a little while, or when you first get it, certainly, and if you don't do it for a little while, you might forget some of the important bits. So that's a fantastic resource. They also supply a engineer certificate to keep all the legal people happy, but I think I might have mentioned that. The couple of things I didn't mention and forgot to. Okay, so inside the Swift itself, before you take off, first of all, the car has to be a manual. You can't flat tow automatic transmission cars. Well, you sort of can, but
Unless
basically,
you've got a dog clutch
yeah,
and all the...
people who tow the Jimneys, the Suzuki Jimneys, I believe they can be an automatic, but they have to install an extra component into the car called a dog clutch. So that's another. In general, for flat towing, the car is a manual transmission. So before you head off, you have to, inside the Swift itself, the key needs to be in the ignition and needs to be in the accessories position, and turn off all the accessories, things like radios, heater fans, things that might just gradually flatten your battery while you're flat towing. Turn all those off. The ignition, because the ignition key has to be in the accessories position, which ensures that the steering lock is not on. The steering needs to be able to actually turn. And also the handbrake's off, pretty obviously. So handbrake off, in neutral, and in the accessories position, those 3 things. And the other thing I forgot to mention is, just before we sort of head off, we do a complete lights check, just to make sure that all the lights on the back of the Swift are functioning correctly, as you would with a caravan or a big trailer. So I think that was the things we needed to cover off.
I think so.
And with that all said and done, from one big thing to the next.
See you soon.